Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifest your desires at mind-blowing speed. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. I have a powerful video for you today, and it's based on a conversation with one of you that was just amazing. Right? You were talking about the things that are unfolding in your life and that you're manifesting your desires at mind-blowing speed. These are your words, right? As we were going through this, what I noticed about our conversation, it was a 30-minute conversation, right? But in that 30 minutes, I don't know how many times that he said or expressed gratitude. I'm grateful. Or I feel so much gratitude, or I'm so thankful. Using those words several times during this conversation, and I thought, that's it, right? When we ask that question, because some of you have been asking that, how do I speed up my manifestations of my desires? Knowing, right? With the knowing that everything is already here and now, that you're a simultaneous divine being, right? That you are all realities, that you are all that is, that all identities, all possibilities, all your desires, you couldn't have those desires unless they existed here and now and were absolutely fulfilled. So then you ask, well, then how do I speed that up? The realization, the recognition, the perception that what I want is already here. And the number one thing, right? There's nothing more powerful than gratitude. If there's anything that can accelerate your desires, in other words, the unfolding, the physical manifestation in your experience of reality, is gratitude, right? How do I speed up manifestations of my desires? I've tried everything. I can't seem to stay in the feeling of wish fulfilled. One of you even wrote that as a comment on one of the videos. And I'm trying to release resistance. I'm trying this. I'm trying that. Stop all that trying and struggling. Even the idea of trying to release resistance puts the resistance there. You create that idea that there's resistance, right? You create the idea that you're not in a state of wish fulfilled by trying to get there. Stop struggling, stop trying, stop putting time and space between you and your fulfillment. You're creating that time and space. How do you do it? How do you collapse time and space? Gratitude, right? And we talked about the idea, I think he brought up the idea of Abraham Hicks, who talks about appreciation because it's less resistant. That's fine. But remember, you don't have to water down gratitude, right? It doesn't really matter what word you use, but it's the recognition of yourself as source. You can say, I appreciate that, or I'm grateful, but it's your recognition that you are all that is here and now. So you don't have to water down appreciation. You don't have to try to release resistance. You create the idea that there is resistance there. So whatever you use, gratitude. It's gratitude for existing as source, as all that is. This is the power. It's a state of being. It's not a mere emotion. We're going to talk about this idea. I've talked about it in many videos now, but let's see if we can take it from a new perspective today. I've tried it all. Scripting, affirming, imagining, acting as if, being specific, going general, letting go, detaching from the outcome. All of these. What's the trick, one of you asked? Well, remember, it reminds me of what Neil Donald Walsh said in Conversations with God. You're a magician who has forgotten your own tricks. You've forgotten your own tricks. It's not about time. Things do not take time. They take awareness, right? It's not about time. I know some of you even quoted Abraham Hicks on this. It's not about time, it's about alignment. But even then, that alignment even implies that it takes effort and time to align. So even then, I want to release the resistance just a little bit more and say it's just about awareness. It doesn't take time to be aware. It doesn't take time. You are awareness. Awareness is just another word for the now moment. Or the now moment is just another word for awareness. So even the idea that you gotta do processes and do something to align with your desires creates this separation between you and fulfillment. Close that gap with gratitude. Gratitude implies fulfillment here and now. It implies it's done. Right? Remember, gratitude creates that reality that you're grateful for. That's powerful. Right? It creates it. It puts it there. Right? Instead of putting time and space between fulfillment, put the fulfillment there by recognizing it through gratitude. Here and now, I'm that person I've always desired to be. Expressing gratitude, being grateful, saying thank you, remember, is the human physical expression of your innate divine state as source. Do you see it? So the idea of expressing gratitude, it's just the physical human expression of that state of being, of that state of grace that you are. That's what gratitude is. It's a state of absolute grace. It's a state of absolute fulfillment. And as you express that in your physical experience, you express that through being grateful for things, right? But the real key to it, the source of all of it, is being grateful to exist as source, to exist as being one with God, one with that creator, one with your creations, right? It's remember, it's that divine urge, that divine impulse to know yourself as source. It's a state of grace. It's a state of gratitude. You create a reality. When you focus on effort and try to make something happen, you create a reality of things taking time, things taking effort, things taking processes to manifest. Instead, go to that gratitude. That collapses time and space. I'm not saying don't do processes. Don't affirm, don't script. Do those with love and fulfillment, knowing that you're already there, but express that gratitude now, here and now. That collapses everything. Remember, all processes, all of them, are with the idea to put your focus, your awareness on that reality that already is real, that already exists within you. That's what that does. So it's a state of grace, right? It's not about taking effort and time. It's not even about making an effort to align. You are aligned. You are that awareness now. It's about knowing it. That's what gratitude does. It collapses all that effort, all that time. This is powerful. There's no process, trick, or hack that speeds up your manifesting and accelerates your manifestations more than gratitude in advance. Right? This whole idea, right? In advance of anything that you believe is going to unfold in physical reality, right? Because it's already yours. It's not a mere emotion, right? It's a knowing that all your desires and wishes are fulfilled here and now, that creation is finished. That's what gratitude is. Creation's already finished. So you're feeling that gratitude to create that physical experience of what's already yours. That feeling of wish fulfilled, remember, is not a mere emotion. As I pointed out yesterday, I wrote a comment on yesterday's video, right? Again, I want to say it again. Neville Goddard said, when I speak of feeling, I do not mean emotion, but the acceptance of the fact that it is fulfilled. It's an acceptance, a conviction, a knowing that it is fulfilled. That's what we mean by the feeling of wish fulfilled. The feeling of wish fulfilled is an innate, inherent gratitude that everything is already within you, that it's already done. You're feeling the gratitude as source. That's powerful. And Neil Donald Walsh says this in Conversations with God: this place of knowing, this acceptance, this conviction, is a place of intense and incredible gratitude. It's a thankfulness in advance. Do you see it? It's already there. We use the idea of advance just as a concession to the linear, horizontal 3D experience. But everything's here and now. It's a timeless gratitude. It's a timeless conviction. It's a timeless knowing that you're source. It's a state of being. It's such an elevated and high emotion, gratitude, that it's a state of being. It's your true state of absolute fulfillment. Right? This is powerful. It's right up there with love, gratitude. It's beyond mere emotion, mere hope or belief. It's the absolute clarity and knowing that I am that I am. I am fulfilled, I am complete, I am whole, and I am healed here and now. It's a divine innate state of grace. That's what gratitude is. It's divine. But we express that divine, unseen state of grace through our human experience of expressing gratitude, right? And we call that gratitude in advance as a concession to the linear 3D horizontal experience of the things that we desire as they unfold from within us, right? Gratitude as a state of being, I am. Not for something, but as everything. Hear this. It's not necessarily gratitude for something that you want or desire. It's the gratitude that you're already everything you want and desire, as all that is. It's the physical expression of your innate state of grace, gratitude in advance. In other words, you're advancing gratitude. That's the physical human expression of that state of grace. You're advancing gratitude in everything, right? Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus, which I've talked about many times, demonstrated this gratitude in advance, this advancing gratitude as source, right? The unification, the recognition in the unification with source, the recognition that that Father or that source is greater than you, but that you're also one with that source, right? It's that great paradox that the Father is greater than I, but I and the Father are one. It's that great paradox. Father, I thank you that you have heard me. In other words, your desires and intentions are known, are heard, and are already fulfilled. Wow. Your desires and intentions are known, are heard, and already and always fulfilled. So gratitude's the other side of that desire, the fulfillment of it. You cannot have a desire without its absolute fulfillment. Gratitude is that link, right, between that divine state of all that you are and that human expression of that divine state. Gratitude's the link, right? That's powerful. So that's why Jesus then said, and I know that you always hear me, because it's always done, because creation's finished, because I'm one with the Father. Yes, the Father is greater than I. So I say, hey, thank you. Thank you that you've heard me, great source that I am one with. But I know that you always hear me because I'm one with you. Gratitude's the knowing, it's the certainty, it's the conviction, it's the acceptance that your wishes are always fulfilled. That's powerful. Remember, gratitude creates the reality of fulfillment. Gratitude creates the experience of fulfillment, the image of fulfillment. It's the expectation of fulfillment here and now and always. It crowds out all other possibilities, right? You cannot have doubt, fear, and feel unfulfilled at the same time as expressing gratitude. They cannot coexist. Right? The expression of gratitude is not for God or source. You are already given everything. And God guaranteed that you are and have everything by making you everything, as A Course in Miracles says. It's already been given to you. So God doesn't need your gratitude. It's already yours. Gratitude, like the three kings in the desert in the Old Testament where they're dying of thirst. And they pray to God. And Elijah answers, right? Representing God, representing the voice of God. And they tell these kings who are dying, their armies, dying of thirst in the desert, to dig a ditch, dig a trench, pick up a shovel and dig a ditch. Because the rain's there, the fulfillment's already there, but prepare for it. Express your gratitude for it, right? It's yours anyway. Right? In other words, whether you dig the ditch or not, it's yours. But for you to recognize it, for you to unify with it, for you to see it, you express that gratitude. It's for you, not God. God already gave it to you. There's no quid pro quo with God. It's already yours. You're already given everything and made as everything, as all that is. But Jesus says in the resurrection of Lazarus, but because of the people who are standing here, I said this. I know that you always hear me. I thank you that you hear me. I know that you always hear me, but because of the people, because of the crowd who are standing by, I said this. In other words, it crowds out all doubt, all fear, all thoughts of non-fulfillment are crowded out by that state of gratitude. They cannot coexist. You can create the experience of non-fulfillment. You can create the experience that they might coexist, but they don't. It crowds out all others. Gratitude's for you. God already said yes. God already has given to you. He heard you. It's fulfilled. It's for you to accept that you're already that which you desire to be. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Source. In other words, cast your net one more time, as I've said in another video when Simon was fishing. Cast it one more time, right? With gratitude. Say it again. Just say the word, I am that which I desire to be. That's the word, I am. Say it again, right? And I know that you always hear me. I know it's already mine. But because of the people standing by, I said it again. Because of that, I'm going to crowd out all other possibilities of non-fulfillment. There's only fulfillment. I'm going to crowd out all other possibilities. Wow, that's powerful. And I said this back in June. If you guys remember, some of you may remember, I was at a retreat in Ecuador, in Cuenca, Ecuador, at a spiritual retreat where one of the shamans said this in a ceremony. Just when you're sick and tired of saying thank you, say it again. Because, boy, those ceremonies, there's a lot of thank you. There's so much gratitude expressed. They don't water it down with, I appreciate this or I appreciate that. They go right to gratitude. And he said, we like to say, in our culture, we like to express gratitude. We like to say it. And I know some of you probably are getting sick of us saying thank you. But just when you're sick and tired of saying thank you, of feeling gratitude, say it again. I love that. I did a video on that back when I was in Ecuador in June. And then this subscriber comment, that is what I'm struggling with. They were referring to another video where I talked about gratitude, right? If I love and am grateful for where I am now, then it does seem ungrateful to want more. Well, that's the linear mind again, looking at making it conditional. Making gratitude as a condition to be and have what you want to be and have. It's already yours. There's no conditions, right? It's already yours. The idea that I want more or desire more comes from that innate impulse or divine urge as source to know yourself as source, to know yourself as one with the Father, one with the Creator. That's all that is. It's not about wanting more, it's about being more, knowing more of yourself as source. But it translates into the idea of wanting more things, but that's just a translation of that divine urge. There's nothing wrong with wanting money and love and more things, but only when it comes from that idea that you're already complete, that it's just an expression of that innate divine urge within you. How do I stay and wish fulfilled? They even asked it. Well, wanting, desiring, and needing more, it's not about that. It's the divine urge or impulse or desire to know more of your infinite self as source, right? It's not about staying in gratitude or staying in wish fulfilled, as you call it, and tolerating conditions until something happens out there, until your wish is fulfilled, what you believe is fulfillment as a 3D experience. It's about being grateful and fulfilled no matter what, here and now, as source, as one with the Creator. If I am God and source, then who am I thanking? This is another one of you asked this. Who am I thanking? Feels funny. That greater source within you. Because remember, I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. There's a greater source that you're one with, that you're the center of. But through a physical 3D focus, we don't see it all, but we are it all. So it's about thanking that, right? That's what God is. God is greater than anything that you could possibly focus on in your 3D physical experience. But it doesn't mean you're separate from it. It doesn't mean you are less than that. Remember, wherever God is at all, the all of God must be. You cannot divide up that unity. It's a hologram. It's that one all power. It's not some power coming through you or a part of God. It's all of God. It's all power. It's you as the center. It's that recognition, right? It's getting comfortable with that paradox, because remember, that paradox is reconciled. All paradoxes are reconciled with this idea that, yes, the Father is greater than I, but I am one with the Father. I am one with that source. That's what that recognition, and that's what gratitude does. It collapses all of it. Time, space, and conditions between you and your fulfillment. So, expressing gratitude is not only the recognition awareness that Source or God, the Father, is greater than I, right, which we talk about, as a physically focused center of that one divine mind and source, but that I and the Father are one, that you are source in your unification with it. Right? So it's John, I think, 14:28, the Father is greater than I, and I and the Father are one. Right? And 10:30, I believe, right? And John 10:30. These two ideas go together. There's no contradiction here. They go together. It's your unification. This is what Jesus demonstrated at the tomb of Lazarus, right? Thanking Source or God the Father. And then saying that, I know that you'll always hear me because I am one with you. I am not separate with you. It's that unification, that recognition, that embodiment. You can't be grateful and be unfulfilled at the same time. Those states or ideas can't and don't coexist. But you can create the experience of being ungrateful and unfulfilled. At the tomb of Lazarus, Jesus, your I am awareness of being. Remember, the metaphysical representation of Jesus, representing your I am awareness, said, remove the stone. In other words, gratitude removes the conditions and circumstances that appear as non-fulfillment, that appear as resistance, that appear as non-fulfillment. Remove the stone. Gratitude removes the conditions and circumstances that appear as non-fulfillment. That's powerful. When you're waiting to be fulfilled, needing a reason out there to be grateful, you'll only see and perceive the tomb, the stone, and the dead conditions of non-fulfillment. That's all you'll see. But when Jesus said, remove the stone, what is the first thing that he did? Thank you, Father. It's gratitude that removes that stone, removes those dead conditions that you are seeing as non-fulfillment. It gives you that greater perception of all that you are. That's already there. Now, otherwise, if being ungrateful, you're only going to see the stone, the tomb, and the dead conditions, or the dead man inside, the dead conditions of non-fulfillment. So assume and imagine your wish is fulfilled. Remember, we talked about the AAA method in several videos now, and even one of you on Facebook revisited that from your own perspective. Right? These A's can mean anything, but assume and imagine it. Right? Then advance the gratitude. Express that gratitude. That removes the stone, right? It removes those dead conditions, right? That's true alignment. Now you don't have to try to be aligned. Gratitude is absolute alignment. It's absolute fulfillment. Then accept the fulfillment as your only reality no matter what. Accept fulfillment of your wish as the only reality. Not trying to stay in it, but that is your reality. You've imagined it. You've assumed it. You've expressed that gratitude from within, that state of being, that state of grace. And now you're accepting that fulfillment as your only reality no matter what. That's powerful. That's how you manifest your desires at mind-blowing speed. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on our videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/BeSomethingWonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, our membership channel. Thank you for being there. There's a link below if you're not a member and want to check it out. Remember, we have a live stream at the end of this month on October 27, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time here in the USA. I'm going to come to you live to answer questions that you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com, to answer your questions live on the chat. It's always a good time. It's always powerful. If you're a member, join us. If you're not a member and you're interested, check out the link below. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.